Alright, hello folks of the YouTube stream. Here we are. There we go. We're live. Let's do it. Alright folks, we're back with more Ace Attorney. Apologies. Thank you, Hydra. I was like, oh, this is maybe, you know, it was longer, but it was plausible enough, and then it kept going. Really got me. I love that the memes always end with break next week too. It's so good. Anyway, if you want memes like that, among other things, please come on by the Discord. It's linked down below. Let's get it. I've seen, even on like non-break weeks, I've seen the fake meme spoilers end with break next week. It always kills me. Alright, here we go. Court is now in session for how do I say that? Machi Tobaye, Your Honor. The Pixie of the Arpeggio. Right, his trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is A-OK, Hater Judge. It's so true. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. My opening statement, yeah? No, actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about. Yes? Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? I didn't start actually recording. Hello, folks with the recordings. If we use these, hi, I'm Essel, and this is Ace Attorney. We're back. You missed like nothing. We're not actually uploading these. Probably, I'm probably using them mostly for footage. So this is what happened if you want to like. Oh, see, that's even more. This is where you missed like 4 lines. We're in the court now. Anyway. Okay. I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who's terminally ill. Right after this trial. The Chief Justice's son. The Chief Justice? Okay, I'm going to... let's... Have there been... Let's take a quick inventory, mentally. Has there been an instance where Shu Takumi gave us information this specific and it didn't come up again later? I think no. His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something movie might be the order of the day. Why don't folks ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? Looking at something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? Very potent. Fire Emblem, unless... Oh yeah, Ganondorf, right? Was Ganondorf Chief Justice? In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly. Fire Emblem disgust.png. JPEG, excuse me. Imagine putting that meme in a PNG. I thought it was even police, yeah. You're in luck here, Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to review the victim in this case, Romain Latouche, age 35. Yeah, last chief, capital C. Global manager for diva songstress La Mirar. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report is all the details. Ooh, is this an updated autopsy report? Essel, it's been updated from there not being one? Yes, that's still updated, to be clear. 45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? Direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet. No, for sure. Yeah, it's... If you are confused in the audience, please go on youtube.com and look up Ace Attorney updated autopsy report, and you'll bear witness to a good, like, I don't know what it was made in actually, but a good Edgeworth animation, certainly. The bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight, death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved. I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering. Okay, here's the crime photo. 2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets are found on the wall of the scene. Observe the diagram. Okay. This is where the bullets hit. Notably, we do not see the window marked here. That's actually a little surprising. I see, the court accepts the evidence. I'm a little surprised by that. Talking about a 40 caliber revolver. We must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Really? Yeah, apparently weapons of that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body. The defense will take more care in choosing examples. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door. That does seem to be the case, yes. However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. Talking about you and Emma, huh? Yet, when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course. But that's impossible. Exactly. This murder was impossible. Except for the window! For all but one person. One person? That is, of course, the defendant, Machi Tobaye. Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how? It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime seem to make it clear. Very well. I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please show the witness to the stand. Okay, Emma on the stand. First time. Your name and profession, please. Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night. Emma seems tired somehow. Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder. No, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know. I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I don't want to hear about these bigger mistakes. Oh, that's not the judge. In any case, I want to hear these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered, and we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please. Alright. Emma does not like what she has to say here, is my read at least, that she does not like... She doesn't buy that Tobaye did this. But that's what she's seen, though. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. Went to the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene, but that door was the only out of the room, right? Yeah, pretty much. But I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it? It looks like we need a bit more information. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Okay. No, let's keep an eye on the bracelet here. Oops, not that. That. The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy? Well, it's obvious. My keys. That whole morning, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect. Love, slow acting, and new atroquinine is waiting for you. He's singing something. Does everything in this got to be so over the top? Yes. The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was like a sailor, adrift in a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. You didn't have to come for Emma like that. I see, I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean, time on their hands? Please, the testimony. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I gave the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. You're so right, Adventure C. Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then, except for the magician. And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I did too, I was there. I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting, I was eating snackoos. Alright, no snacking in court. And you're sure the shots came from Lamarar's room? Absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, let's keep it quiet. To talk. Oh, thanks. So, how about it, Emma? We were right there. Hard to be mistaken about that. Please, either talk or eat, not both at the same time. Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. Rock? Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? That's right, we went into the dressing room. The music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They pipe sound from the stage to the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Dude, have to be so loud? You don't listen to the Gaviners with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume. When we walked in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. You can hear that music playing, then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. Unless it was some sort of crazy mechanical Rube Goldberg effect. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was staying in front of the door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent. Ah! Well, that air was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. And of all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant! The pixie of the arpeggio flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime. Objection! But that's just conjecture. Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know, head or forehead. And there is another vital piece of evidence. Evidence? What? Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that it had recently been opened. Wait, what? And something else is found quite clearly. The defendant, Machi Tobaya's fingerprints. What? What? Oh, well, that's very bad. Order, order, order! That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well there, forehead. What fairy tale does this suggest to you? Ugh. Only one can pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was not whooping it up in the audience. So this was his decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. Ugh. I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict, even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, this criminal lost decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. Ugh, it can't be over already. Very well, I believe this trial is finished. The defense has no contradicting evidence. The prosecution has presented our proof clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, It better be clear and plain. Ugh, Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. You better come with something quick. I think. What can get us out of this? Need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi's innocent beyond a doubt. Without that... Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now. This is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. Court wants contradicting proof? Okay. It is possible, although we do know that we're you know, we are in the dark age of the law, so is there a witness? It's just tough. Ostensibly, Machi Tobaya is 14 and blind. How in the goddamn is he shooting? Is he shooting that revolver? That's all I'm trying to say here. I mean, we could call Machi to the stand, right? Call Lamaror to the stand. Was Lamaror with Machi at the time? Do we know where Machi was at the time? It's possible, but the victim did call out the siren specifically. It may be misdirection, but I think it's got to be about Lamaror. This is a little tricky. We could present the room layout. How the hell did Machi get... all I'm saying is Machi was behind him, fires 2 shots from a 45 through this guy, and then books it to the air vent before anybody has time to see? That's crazy. We could point out the diagram, I guess. As ever, we're running up against the noun-verb problem. We know this is sus, but we don't know what the game wants to hear. We definitely could. It's also on my list. I think Diagram and Machi are both good elements on the list right now. Like, blind and small enough to fit in the air vent, but also can handle the revolver without serious effects? Prosecutor Gavin, you claim there were no witnesses of this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. Okay, perfect. So, thankfully, Apollo has cued us in here, and on my million-seller hit song, After Quinine My Love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness. Oh ho, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not? Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. And that, folks, is a bingo. I just talked to him and now... he's alive. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold, so cold. Witness. You're cold. Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help us on the way. And now we get into the sort of the thicker part of this, because Lammeror clammed up yesterday when she was called as a witness. Not called, but when we called her out as a witness. The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is what her forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself. But it's the truth. He said it. I even told you about it. But apparently you ignore me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours is unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for? Ugh, there's no backing down now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. Lammeror. Recall Mr. Latouse's last words. The witness is Siren. The siren. Ah, he meant the siren. That's right, the siren of the ballad. Lammeror. Lammeror was only on stage for the second set, and she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness. I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, my claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime. Very well. Let's hear from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We'll take a break from the Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lammeror to the witness stand. Lammeror would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind. Ah, you can speak English? Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There is much I do not know. You speak so well. You spent time here before. Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language. Keep up the mystique, I guess. Nor where I studied it. What does she mean she doesn't know? Amnesia? Oh, if you missed some of last night, Faye, Lammeror can speak English. I, too, thought to call as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lammeror suffers from amnesia. Aha! Amnesia? Lammeror is not my true name, yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought. This could be a bit, let's not forget, but as lauded singer Lammeror, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her thanks to her success. Totally, no, that's definitely fair. Yet I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress. I see. But it also would cause a lot of havoc in the in-game presentation. So, works enough here. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lammeror. Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness? What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Lammeror, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy. I'm the bad guy? Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then, I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying. I do hope you were too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Wow, you just got battered, Apollo. Way to go. Ugh. Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. Lemora wouldn't talk to you the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. Alright, let's figure it out, folks. Here we go. But you must have seen something. Mr. Latouche named you. Mr. Latouche, how can I tell you what I don't know? Lemora, he said you were a witness with his dying words. I do not know what he meant to say, but that night... Okay. It was a great concert. You heard me sing, thank you. I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. Of course. Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. One of my gavel would be nice. And a judge. What's this? Hello? It's my autograph. Now keep this trial moving. What? Oh, my grandchild will be so happy. Apparently his grandson's a big fan. Let us continue, shall we? If you would, Lemora. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance. Okay. You did not return backstage after the second set. You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing? I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing. And was Machi with you at the time? Unfortunately, I do not know where he was. So much for an alibi for Machi. Okay. Was some of the police on stage? Was Machi correct? How was he then? He seemed as he always does, though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latouche's death, yet he is not the type to show much emotion. Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those limping frames speak nothing. Questioning hasn't gone very far. We sat there, waiting. And yes, autograph, probably, bribery, but it's also funny, so it's cool. That was where I learned something had happened, but wasn't all the details. How was the incident explained to you? I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Latouche died. Of course, investigations require some security. Mr. Latouche was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Machi and I were beside ourselves with concern. Allow me to apologize, but please understand, keeping you in the dark was as painful to me as it was for you. What's it? Yes, I understand. Think, what doesn't ring true about her testimony? It's hard to imagine Lemora lying. She might not be lying, but she's hiding something. What wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? I actually don't remember. Okay, do that back in 1 second, folks. And thank you all for your patience. I appreciate it. Okay. I'm trying to rack my brains as to what she said. And we're back. I'm just gonna check my screenshots real quick to see if I grabbed a screenshot of what she was saying. So she said, "Are you with the police?" Oh, duh. That, yeah. The brooch. Should we get her on the going backstage, maybe? Objection! Let's go! I'm sorry, Lemra, but I'm having trouble believing you. Remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lemra's. She was wearing it for her song. That's testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place, at the very scene of the crime. What? Lemurar, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you were wearing it during your performance that night. What the? What is the meaning of this? Lemurar, please explain. Lemurar? Oh, suddenly Virginian. She says English is quite difficult. Trick's not gonna work here. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. What? Wait, well, that's not what you said, though, lady. Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred. Ah. Is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call her back up. Right, understood. Make sure no one comes in, right? Miss Lotus, can you hear me? Witness so cold. Huh. Yipes, Emma, what was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? The door opened and closed twice, it sounds like. No, I could have sworn I heard a door close. I looked into the room. Just a glance, mind you. So this is when your brooch dropped. That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. It's ridiculous. I looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Also, it was on the other side of the room. It had her forehead. She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. So she looked in at the crime scene. Oh, the brooch isn't here, I don't think. I actually intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course, but the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. The head of forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Cords of steel. I closed the door immediately. Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony. It's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lemurar, you did look into the room though, right? Yes. Testify as to what you saw. Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses. When the performance was finished, I went backstage for just a moment. I am perceiving you. Hands, usually? No hands. I'm focusing. Okay. Huh. Oh, it's just active now. I'm sorry. I thought it was just for that message. I was like, huh? I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latus's body was behind a wall. Is that true? It is true. But she tilted her head though, so we're going after her. How did you say that without speaking? This is fascinating. A wall? Was there a wall there? Is what in English? A division or partition, I believe. The large dressing room divided into two halves. Where to place in the inside half? I guess that partition might have hidden the body. What did you see in that brief glimpse? I'd only opened the door slightly when I heard that horrible voice. And shut the door. I've always wondered, hair forehead, does that voice of yours lack a volume knob? Like cords of steel, man, just back off. What if she was lip syncing? Huh. Wait, no, but her hands aren't here, though. Where are her hands? She doesn't have hands. Wait, she tilts her head here, right? I'm looking for hands, though. Or like some sort of change, right? In countenance. Yeah, I'm saying, what else is there to catch, though? Nothing else is moving. She's like twitching her arm or something? Or her hair? I guess, what is the most likely place where she's lying? It's either this one or this one. It's it's like 3, 4, or 5. Yeah, I mean, like, I want to present Okay. Maybe she does touch her neck or something then? Oh, sorry. Do you have a screenshot? Hold on. Oh, it was lower. It's like on like her neckline of her dress. Okay. I'm thinking. It's literally on her neckline. I'm actively trying to avoid any appearance of a conflict of interest here. But it is literally stapled to like her neckline of her dress. Nothing's changing. No, but I'm saying, right, what I'm saying though is like, here, I can put it up on screen. Like, I'm not going crazy here. This is fair enough reference anyway, so... Like, I'm just saying, so like, that's where the brooch was. She changed positions here, so I keep thinking this is gonna be it, but... Oh, gotcha, okay. She's swallowing really aggressively? She is. Okay. She's nervously swallowing here. Get her.
Gotcha!
The late Mr. Latusse's body, you say? Yes? You know something more about Mr. Latusse's death than you're saying. What? I could see you try not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. It is true, it was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Lattusse have to be shot? One moment, alright? Yes? What was that you just said? Why did he have to be shot? Yes? She was hiding something, I knew it. Remember, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. How could that be? She says, sweating. Get her ass. Take this. I'm giving her, hitting her with the diagram. Take the diagram. If I do not misunderstand the meaning of contradiction, it is you who contradicts, Mr. Justice. What are you talking about? Huh? Your evidence is meaningless. Bro, you can't have... Now, this is a noun-verb problem. It's a noun-verb problem. Here's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is correct. We know this to be factual. She could not have seen the body from the door. It was behind a wall. If she was there for 1 instant, open the door, immediately slam it. She could not have gone in there and seen his body. Not possible. She claims that she didn't know anything and that she was told nothing by the police. She went into the damn room at some point, or she was before, probably, right? What, huh? What'd you say again? Why did Mr. Latus have to be shot? That's right. That's totally contradictory. Which part of the testimony? This maybe? Nobody was supposed to know about the details? Tell me, Leverard. How did you know he had been shot? Come on. Well, I immediately following the... So here's the situation. It's fine, but this is one of those evidence pieces that I don't like, because this report is not the evidence. It indicates the line of logic, but we didn't need... Like, this is not like the smoking gun. Like, she still could have looked in the room. This doesn't mean she couldn't have looked in the room. I still hold that, like, the design of the room proves a much larger problem with her logic here. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Exactly, what Faye and Hydra are saying. The smoking gun is the smoking gun here. Yet you knew he had been shot. How could you have known? Well, because we told you in the court. Or was she not in court earlier, maybe? You have been mind crushed? The Pharaoh has spoken. Lamaror, do you want something from this court, I hope? That sweet song of hers is sounding a little too sweet. Aha, now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony. Of course. All we want to know is the truth. Because, play that on a sound clip. She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latus had been shot. What are you talking about?
Hold it!
Only a glimpse, yet you knew they were bullet holes. You looked inside, looked behind you, saw the bullet hole. Wait, no, isn't the door in the way anyway? There's no shot. Yes, I recognize them immediately. I have seen bullet holes before, you know. You have traveled the world as a singer. True. Those are sung in places far more dangerous than our country. I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days. That's really cool. I hope I get to travel like Lamaror someday. I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, you know. Maybe I should go on a Chords of Steel tour, too. Okay, get her.
Objection!
No. Get diagrammed. Observe the diagram. Oh, we should actually have that. The lies are hardly becoming such a creature. Actually, hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on. Give me 1 second. This will take a moment. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hold. Hold. Hey, well, whatever. This is good enough. There we go. A put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice. Such put downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo. Stop polishing your forehead and stop polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't it be cool for once? Observe the diagram! I was looking for an exclamation point, so this works out beautifully. Hold on. Lamorar, you looked in from the door for just a moment. Every time I observe this diagram, it makes me laugh. That's so true. Correct? Yes, that is so. There were bullet holes in the room, yes? But they were in the wall the door is on. You see, assuming you immediately glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. You could barely have seen the body. York! Lamorar, yes, I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something. And I must tell you what it is that I saw. Yes, the happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You do understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-eliminating her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latouche died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamorar. The problem is she saw... So the previous was going to happen. She saw Tobias. Lamorar, please continue your testimony. Very well, I shall. I almost guarantee it that she saw Tobias. I would almost guarantee that. What I saw, too. The sequel to What I Saw. I was on the way from the stage to the backstage exits. There was something like a little window there. Oh, that's how I saw it. With the testimony thing, it looks like, you know, live Lamorar reaction. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it, but it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was. So you did witness the crime, and the killer was a grown person, you say? Ugh, this is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Herr Forehead. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination. Very well, Herr Forehead. Great going, Apollo. You're right about Lamorar. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. This is incredibly sus. So you were headed toward the dressing room. Yes. So this is a little before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. about the same time Emma and I heard those shots. On my way back. Okay. What exactly is something like a little window? Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said, yes? You need not worry, Lamaror, your choice of words is impeccable. There was a small window in dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail? That little window on the wall. I saw the crime from there. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. You are certain you heard 2 shots fired? Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot, and wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot, much closer. And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradiction so far. Okay, there was nothing I could do. But it wasn't Machi. It wasn't Machi who shot, are you sure? Yes, quite certain. It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It isn't this testimony. It is testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object? Yeah, Paul. What were you thinking? Trucy, let's just listen to what Lamar has to say. How are you so sure? You see, it was a grown person. I know it was. A grown person. That's a little vague. I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking. I know. Certainly, you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female. Was a man, a young man. And you're sure of that? Yes, his voice was quite clear. Voice? Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem like you wouldn't have a clear view of the shooter. Oh, what was that we were doing just then? As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. Hold on, one more time. I'm just, the blocking here is throwing me off. From here, she saw the back of this guy, and I mean, maybe it's just that this is all very relative, but like, how did this come to be? Did Latouche have this guy up against the wall or something? Because like, we're just way too close to the wall here. How are you behind your target if you're trying to get out of the room really fast? I don't know. Something feels weird about that. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man. So you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche? Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known. Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man? Paul, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi. Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony? How's it going, Hunter? Good to see you. Yeah, well, like, and just like on a basic level, it's very hard to be like, yeah, the prime suspect is a blind pianist who has no known history of using firearms, and the murder weapon is a .45 caliber revolver. It's just like, it's very like, how did this happen? Like, dude literally could have like dislocated bones firing it. Like. It's very implausible from the jump. So, you know, possible, certainly, but very like, this is your suspect you have put up? So, Apollo clearly doesn't like it, right? Apollo does not like what's going on here. We know there is a sus magician who was on the scene. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Darian probably isn't sus, but he's shark-themed, you know, it's a little suspicious. There's this, which is complicated. The testimony itself, how do we feel about it? She heard a voice, that's hard to buy. How could she have heard the voice through the window over the loudspeaker? Is one thing I'm struggling with. I'm gonna say it's contradictory. Though it pains me to say this, there is something about Lamar's testimony that rings false. Bravo her for it. You're colder than I thought. I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man can pass the air vents. Oh right, that too. No venting. Couldn't have vented. Couldn't have held the scene of the crime. But that means Lammeror has to be lying. I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. It is as Head Forehead says, yet this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. What next? What are you talking about? Lammeror. I understand why you'd want to protect Machi, and remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature. What does the prosecution mean? Apollo, what's he talking about? No one bats an eye when he says stuff like that. I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? Oh, what is this? Observe the dagger? When the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it, and with the loudspeaker going, what? But I am sure. Lammeror, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion as a witness is somewhat lesser. But she's the only eyewitness we have. So you say. And the victim named her, the siren, as the witness. That's right. That's what Mr. Latouche... We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Herr Judge? Yes? The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please. I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility, but if Lammeror can't testify, we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence. This trial examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case. Danke. Now, where were we? I would like to hear from Fraulein Detective again. Wait, let me hear Lammeror's testimony one last time. But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand. I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance. Rejected. Wow, it's pretty rare, actually. At last, back to the real trial. Already, Herr Forehead? I hope I didn't just miss my only chance. Fraulein Detective, how far have we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Ask me. I dislike saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore. If you would, Ms. Sky. I believe I was saying that the only Mr. Latouche's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling. Ah yes, there was only one door in the room, and the witness, you, was standing in front of it. That air vent wasn't very big, see? Kind of people could have possibly get through. I certainly would have a difficult time. You sure would, not that you would have been there in the first place. No. Remember, the whole backstage area is off limits to people not involved with the concert. Only one who meets the conditions for a killer is the defendant. A virtuoso performance, I could not have put it better myself. She does state a clear case, though, reading the report, something caught my eye. Oh, what's that? The circumstances of the defendant's arrest. The circumstances again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre. She's right. Why did Mr. Latouche's body disappear from the room and then end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. I don't have a beat on that yet. I mean, obviously, this puts us on the magician. Somebody who is, you know, probably going to have a flair for the dramatic and be well versed in putting things in places. Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. Could we have put the body in a big case, in a big trunk in the hallway? Could we have put a body in a big guitar case? But you work in this job long enough, you get a nose for things. The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Very good, Fraulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it together for us. Why was the body moved, and how did it lead us to the killer? Here we go. Let's do it, folks. I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lammeror's song, and no one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All its evidence clearly points to the defendant. So again, if my call shot from earlier is correct and Machi isn't actually blind, then we have some problems. But if Machi is blind in pulling this off, he's either, you know, the greatest heist artist of all time, or Somebody else was involved. Remember our song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed it's code too, did you not? It's code. All the events that day follow the lyrics to our song. That's true, he was huge. The keys my heart on Latus said they were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet. Is that what it is, Hunter? Oh my god. It's Romaine Lettuce. Is that what his name is? Mr. Romaine Latus? Oh my god. Stop. How did I not notice that? I was... Oh my god. God. The rest hardly needs explanation. I was thinking of like Toulouse-Lautrec. Too much, right? That's the name, right? Yeah. I was thinking Toulouse-Lautrec, and I was like, you know, we're on the stage? Sure. We just transpose some letters? I don't know. Romaine Latus. Unbelievable. Guitar up together to the sky. That's mad. It's like a story out of some fairy tale. Dude, on the one hand, I respect it. On the other hand, Judge, you have seen some shit in this courtroom. You know you've seen things happen in this courtroom. It was years ago, but you've seen it. I admit I'd forgotten about the song, but there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were. Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that. I was only up on songs and counting the songs. Exactly. There was a hostage situation like 2 days ago. But killing? It's a wild world out there here, Judge. Very well. We've heard one song and dance, let's get on to the next, the cross-examination. I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Okay. We'll see you did the same. Who would steal a body to match some lyrics? I didn't believe in myself, but it can't just be a coincidence. Here's what Frowning Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse. That's what I'm saying. He literally saw an exorcism happen in the courtroom. He's seen spirit possessions. He's seen so many things happen. And yet he's like, it's a little weird. Somebody might do a weird crime. No. What? You want me to sing it? You are the witness, yeah? Or did you want me to sing? I warned you, my fee as vocalist is not trivial. Fine. Okay. When you stole away the keys my heart onto so tight. Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped key ring was stolen that morning. Right page. Indeed, where we find burning on in my heart fire, burn my love away, all away. As we know, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. Like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away, all away. Exactly. Let's go to the sky. Bravo, Frowning Detective. You're singing. It's not bad. Now for the finale. Guitar, up together to the sky. As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latus. I can't do this anymore. This MF's name is Lettuce. This is the Toriyama character now. Okay. We're gonna be power scaling Romaine Latus up against Kefla now. No series of coincidences can be so well conceived. And Napa, get a whole lettuce and cabbage situation. We've been secretly playing DQ9. So true. Thank you, Toriyama. Yeah, I feel you, Hunter. I'm expecting it to be very cathartic when we find out what happened to her, because, like, you know, her being, you know, a little jaded and unhinged implies a lot has happened, and I'm curious to see exactly if we get more of her history later on. He's right, scientifically speaking. What would Waki have said? That concert was whack. So true. Wait, what's scientific about this, Emma? Hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that. Anyway, the shooter. He moved the body to match Lamoureux's song. Boss, you should have any idea why he'd do all this? You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason. A deep reason? Nobody's stealing my keys, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And worse if he had none. The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone just doing this just on a whim. Following detective, I take offense to that description. Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say. Yes, this crime was planned for sure. Agreed, agreed, agreed. But Mr. Latou spoke English. He may have come to this country before. Oh, then to that I assure you. Oh. It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently, he learned English on his own. Great. You see? No one here had a motive to kill him, and certainly not in such an elaborate fashion. It does seem difficult to imagine. Unless our famous prosecutor did it as a publicity stunt. What did you say? Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song? I love that one thing I love in the series. The judge has like this childlike innocence, right? Like this very like tabula rasa, like he just accepts whatever he is told. And it's hilarious. Yes, he did. Of course not, and I am quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need promotion? Everyone already listens to my music. They're even in my textbook at school. And I never heard of them. What does that say about me? Yes, all the music in this game has been really good so far. Oh, we just kidding. Don't get so worked up, Glimmer Boy. Yeah, like, Guilty Love is great. God, I need to learn what all the names of the songs are. But the various layers of pressing witnesses themes are really good too. Okay, this I'm curious about. Machi practically left his signature at the scene. What do you mean by his signature? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. The bullet holes? The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall. And that means what exactly? That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Hey, I noted this. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. You had 5 feet? No, you did not. It'd be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range. Difficult to miss, you say? Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. Is that what they're... I don't know. Are you telling... Could it not have easily been there was a struggle also? Like Latou grabbed the shooter's arm for the first shot and they broke off and then shot him? No, you can't be serious. Machi, he can't see. That's why he missed? I don't think it's the only explanation that makes sense. It might be an explanation. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun poorly. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound. A blind shooter. No wonder he missed. He knew those bullets would come out to haunt me. I'm just saying, we should observe the diagram instead. Think justice. What do I do now? Well, I mean, we can say that, you know, but like also, it is worth noting that they did bring up many realistic issues with regards to the kickback of the gun too. So you know, it's being treated fairly groundedly. What can we object to here? I mean, I want to be like, yo, this kid could not have fired this, is what I want to say. Were there prints on the gun? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His like, at minimum, his wrists or shoulders are gone. Like, gone. He's like 14. I'm thinking, so this is doing a little bit too much meta reading. In the CG, where you know we have the live Lamourard reaction from earlier, the shooter's hand is wearing a glove, like pretty decidedly. We don't have prints off the revolver, and we do have prints on the grates. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall, but that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh, how so? Well, there could have been a... Thank you! Oh my god, finally. See, I'm on the ball tonight. I'm paying attention tonight. There could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible. And it might have been the revolver's fault. The revolver? The revolver was a very large caliber, correct? The shooter wasn't used to the French large weapon. Why, it could dislocate their shoulder. I don't know. Yeah, that is true. Although I don't know. I'm trying to think of if we've done like in the series so far. I think like technology-wise, right? We have definitely done rifling analysis on bullets. I don't know if we've done proper like ballistics analysis of like a bullet hole yet, though, which may just be, you know, a limitation here. The defendant, Machi Utabai, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim. Convincing argument, to be sure. Haha, take that, smoke prosecution. Apollo? Huh? What? That bit about Machi being tiny? And the gun throwing off his aim? Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it? Oh no. Oh. Doesn't matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Well, look, that's my bad. Yerk, crepes, I really put my foot in it this time. But let's get to the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, follow detective. All I'm saying is... Okay, right. You can see he was blind to those bullet holes in the wall. The guy proven that. I wouldn't call it proof per se, huh? You really raised the possibility. The fraud detective has made the most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there is more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent. But wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place? Oh, very good point. Well, following detective, if you would care to explain. He certainly seems sure of himself. Recall the crime scene, if you would. Let us observe the diagram, please. There's a stepladder below the air vents. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Machi Tabaye. He would have known there would be a way out of the time without a stepladder. But that's... Why is this the first time hearing about this? You could have figured it out for yourself. You only need to consider what the stepladder was doing there. Looks like the defense's objection has been squished by a stepladder. Ace Attorney and stepladders. Name a more iconic duo. Well, head or forehead? Out of ammunition, perhaps. Yeah, I've never seen a prosecutor get so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood? Paulo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of their central points. Do I have any evidence that can prove that, though? Yeah, like... Machi would have to not only be either faking that he's blind or just, you know, superhuman, but then also be hiding that he's, like, jacked. The shooter was sighted. This is also kind of interesting. How did he shoot him through the back of his shoulder, presumably? Fell onto his face. He probably... I'm just so curious of the state of this room. Because, like, this all just feels so wrong to me. I can prove that the shooter was sighted? Do we have that? I don't think so. Your face does not exactly project confidence. Maybe you should just accept that and move on. Apollo, grow a backbone. Very well, the witness may continue her testimony. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. Edgeworth. Doesn't look so good, does it, Apollo? No, it does not. What do we do? First, we don't panic. Even though Machi's case is leaking water with a gallon, Gavin's on a roll, and it's up to me to stop him. We lost a point for that? Interesting. I'm always baffled by the Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I was like, huh? Romain Latouche. Incredible. Let's see, 9:30. Okay. Okay.
Objection!
I don't think we have anything that proves the shooter can see. Okay, I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. How could Machi have stolen the body? But I think that's pretty open and shut. We can't really argue evidence against that. He moved the body to match Lamoureux's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. Is that true? I don't think we have any evidence about it, but is that true? I mean, we could accuse Gavin, but he was on stage, so. This isn't like the rare like double press, right? Wait, I'm not able to skip. Hold on. By signature, you mean the bullet holes in the wall? That's right. Let me explain it scientifically. The murder weapon was fired twice. Did we not press this earlier? The shot that missed left a hole in the wall. Furthermore, there was no more than 5 feet between shooter and victim. Hard to miss at that distance. Machi can't see, he would have had to use sound and other senses to aim and miss. And the music was blaring over their monitor. Not the best circumstances for aiming by sound, which makes it very likely the shooter was blind. Thus, the prosecution's position. Nothing like a scientific explanation to get the blood pumping. Why is mine frozen in my veins then? Okay. So the postcard, we just have, I thought I'd check. I thought this said during upside down. It kind of does. But regardless. A deadly high-caliber revolver. the safety pin bit, right? There are 3 keys on this heart-shaped key ring, and this guitar-shaped key was the key to the guitar case. Okay, you couldn't get the case unlocked. You have an unlock like that in 10 seconds, easy. Should have given me a call so we could slap handcuffs on you after you opened it. Handcuffs? 20 seconds tops. Well, that's just on my side. They're trying to figure it out. I mean, like, just how are you getting, like, how is this blind 14-year-old shooting this massive 35-year-old guy and then navigating through this super chunky room to get to a stepladder, successfully climbing the stepladder, and then getting into an air vent, and then at some point later dragging this gigantic guy's body to a stage and setting up, like, it's very, even if he wasn't blind, I'm not seeing the 14-year-old doing this, you know what I mean? It's certainly not like a, you know, like a well-trained 14-year-old maybe, but even then, I think the time doesn't matter. Blood loss due to 45 caliber bullet wounds. I don't think this is helpful, but it is cool still. I feel like I'm close. I feel like I'm getting very close. And we can't present people here, and we don't have we don't have perception mode active. I mean, did Gavin? I mean, maybe we should follow up the Gavin line. Like, actually, the guy who... No, but Gavin didn't know and he was on stage. It's impossible. That is just like a line I'm thinking about. Did he know the lyrics to the song? Why did he do this? Do we have evidence that proves he couldn't have done it because he was blind? Let's observe the diagram again. I mean, it just, the whole thing, the diagram just looks bonkers. Like, where are these lines coming from? Like, here, there's the divider. Is there a shot through the divider? I'm just trying to figure it out. Make it make sense. I don't get it. This man fell this way? Did he, like, fall? Because he needed to fall forwards, right? I'm taking it too literally, right? But, like, I'm just saying. Like, how is this... How is this happening? Which statement? I think I pressed everything.
Hold it!
Signature? Yeah, I think we did. We'll go through it again.
Hold it!
I mean, the bullet holes in the wall. That's right, allow me to explain it scientifically. Okay, here we go. It's fired twice. The shot that missed left a hole in the wall. There was no more than 5 feet between shooter and victim. Hard to miss at that distance. Once you can't see, you would have had to use sound and other senses to aim and miss. Music was blaring, which... Any of that sound like we have evidence to contradict it? 'Cause I think, you know, it sounds sus to me. I think there's a lot of things in there that are very, like, you can't conclude that, you know. I believe we are not meeting a threshold of, like, definitive evidence here from the prosecution side, but I can't say that. We have to find an evidence. Also, Emma only mentioned the one bullet hole, which is incorrect. Look at the photo again. So Imachi had to have been like shooting up at him, right? Like he's small. Do we have the court record here? Can we see how small Imachi is? That's also what I'm confused about. Like there's something smeared on the floor, and when we examined it in, oh, as in this is the evidence. I see. Okay. That's fair.
Objection!
No, wrong one.
Objection!
Fascinating. The prosecution holds the shooter couldn't see. A scientific conclusion based on a thorough examination of the crime scene. Yeah, it's apparently not that thorough enough. I have a certain piece of evidence that can completely overturn your claim. What? This is that evidence. The photograph of the crime scene? I don't care much for the American prosecutor Gavin's face. There's no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Yes, in the future, let me initiate the throwing in of the towel, but I was pretty close to anyway. So NBD here, but yeah, just hold up until I give the okay. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. I think it's that he's pointed so high up, right? But like the shot's still, I don't know. It's either here or here. Could this indicate a struggle of some kind? I don't know. I'm lost. I'm pretty lost. Plain as day. No, it's not. Finger the force of weights. But I'm afraid your argument lacks, Mr. Justice. I see nothing. Okay. I'm pretty lost.
Take that!
The smeared bloodstains? I thought it was my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I have seen many times in this court. Was that he wrote something? Aha! I get it! At least I think I get it. Get what, Fraulein? When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write with the shooter's name? What would he write in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Thanks for making a point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here. That does seem to be a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name It's certainly a logical conclusion. Crap, I wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that. Or just rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind. Okay, this is where it gets frustrating. This is not... I'm coping, clearly, because I couldn't figure it out. But I will argue that, in general, Ace Attorney does a very good job of being very thorough on only presenting sort of very consistent, like, this is a very clear, logical step from the prior point. I don't think this is a clear step from the prior point. We have to make two different assumptions here, one of which is that Latouche was doing that, and two, that the killer, like, I don't think we can conclude that conclusively. Obviously, the bloodstain is suspicious, but, like, can we say for sure? I don't know. Neither would I. So no one has anything else to say. About what? So the prosecution accepts this. You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer. But the killer tried to throw the name out. What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Wait. Once he saw what it was? But what did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ah! Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the courtroom that the defendant, Machi Tobaye, is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible! So yeah, thank you for the nudge, Hunter, and yes, like I said, I do appreciate it, Ozzy, the info. Yeah, just let me initiate it next time, or prod me to initiate it. But this way, like, I don't get, like, blindsided by chat spoilers. But it wasn't, like I said, not a big deal here, because I was about to go, I don't know. Anyway, because, yeah. Well, isn't it, like, it's, you can theorize that, but I don't think we have hard evidence that like means that has to be the case here, which is a little frustrating. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. That's not what we see. What we see is a guy and some bloodstains. Like, you can definitely theorize this. We can make it a reasonable read. But there's no shot that's, like, evidence. And it's 2 jumps. Yet up until now, it seems they owe the court an apology. The Governors are a band with law enforcement ties, and a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense, but, like, I don't know. There's a lot going on here. I think there's also a lot of, like, cleaner ways we get to prove Machi wasn't the one who did it. Like, it just, like, there's so many, like, obvious, like, the revolver would have broken his wrists that don't line up. And how did he carry, like, I would have been great with, like, how did he carry the body out? Let us present Machi's profile, and in the profile list his, like, height and weight, and be like, this dude weighs 70 pounds. He could not have picked up Toulouse, not a dead Toulouse especially. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that, like he knows something we don't? He's able to tell us. Again, not a huge deal. Just a little frustrating to not be able to, like, figure it out. Nope. I've got an idea. Let's rock with these documents. Wait. No, yeah. I don't want to do P4 spoilers, but I think I remember. But before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective, if I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Machi Tobaye is blind? I knew it. Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamar lead him around with the hand all the time? No way. I have an updated report here on the defendant, Machi Tobaye. According to this, Machi Tobaye can see perfectly well. Yes, exactly. It would be like having to figure out one of the P5 twists purely off of the one meme line. What? His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. That's, I don't like the tone of that, bro. It's obvious, but also you have to be like tapped in, right? You gotta be like really on the ball. Hey, yeah, also, yeah. Yet another classic prosecution move, Ace Attorney Hunter. You can see quite well.
Objection!
But you said... What did I say exactly? Their forehead. But once in the course of this trial, have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fraulein Detective. But that's a significant fact. Yes, consider Machi Tobaye sees, and he was the only one who could have fled through the air vents. I see no problems with this. But what with the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Herr Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .40 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. Ugh. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. Ugh. This is where the real fun begins, Herr Forehead. Yark! He said the funny Star Wars line. I knew you didn't have what it took. What if we had failed out because we raised the possibility of the knockback? You jerk! What was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize. Oh, sorry. Let's somebody apologize. He's angered the Trucy now. Look out. And if we can please end the bickering now. Whatever. I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come with some clue to solving this case if it kills me. But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant. Ugh, don't say that. Ah, aha. Aha, what? This bloodstain. The criminal had to try to wipe it off, right? That seems to be what happened, yes. You might be able to find out what was really written here. Really? You can do that. That's right, with this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it? It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Ah, yes, have we done those tests yet? Huh, as if I'm going to tell you. The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it in here in court now. Oh, DS moment, let's go! Go for it, Apollo. Huh, I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple. A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere. Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it. Hell yeah. Right, ready? Just easy as pie. Just press space to spray an area. Here, give it a try. Alright, that's the entire quarter focused on me. Paul, your hand's shaking. Let's do this. This was in... Oh yeah, we did have this. What? It's a CAPTCHA? Wow, it really works. This must be the power of science. So true. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name? Maybe it is if the killer was a robot. Aha, I have it. So what is it? I thought those letters IPXX looks familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency? I told you. I told you! Let's see, I believe this is the defendant's stream key. Oh no, turn the stream. Tobaye, cut the stream. Most undercover agents working to solve international crimes. So why would he write that number? Why would Mr. Latouche even know a number like that? Good show, Fraulein Detective. Rock on. Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. Is he with Interpol? Darian, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27. Has anyone ever played Time Crisis? This is a Time Crisis type beat right now. In my memories of Time Crisis, at least, it has an extreme sense of like, I'm gonna need 2.5 minutes to pick this lock. Go. You just did the I'm out of here meme too. I'm not sure what to think of all this. Prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems, yet this number is really that of an Interpol agent. Oh wait, I know. What if Machi Tobai is really an undercover Interpol agent? That would be a possibility. A possibility, yes, and one that would mark him as the killer for certain. Why did Latus know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we wait Darnay's report, so let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machi Tobai. What are you talking about? Frontline Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began, and seemed too much of a bother to tell you. You had me until the last bit. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see? Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Head Forehead? PR stunt. Me? Machi Tobai pretended he was blind. Do you know why? How could he know? Wait. Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Know that the moment I heard that report, I knew why. Most people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else. What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Machi Tobai pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? Wasn't for himself? Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had feigned blindness? What, why? I'm gonna present the postcard. Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means no, it couldn't be. But that means my name. Good show, Hair Forehead. It seems you've thought of something. Ugh, why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he couldn't see. That is Lammeror and Machi Tobai. Recall the relationship. In particular, the unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lammeror and her pianist, they would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him. And that's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go. All times. Yet, we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep this act the whole time? Well, wasn't it part of their performance? I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean the one thing. Really? Really? It was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lammeror. Why did I not think about this until now? Whoa. I was too focused on her being able to speak English is why. I was like, oh yeah, that's the bit here. Whoa. That explains her focus on voices and why she missed the window and stuff. What's this? So you mean to say that Lammeror is... Yes, Your Honor. Lammeror is blind. What? Yes. Order, order, order. This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin. Just sit down. Please, please shed some light on this madness. Wait, what did I do in DR1 again? Without being too spoilery, if you can. Because like I was on the main quest line in DR1 like a hawk. It was something like kind of obvious, right? Was it something you found out from that locker? Was that what it was? The defense has made an outrageous claim. The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain this time. He's quite correct. But that makes no sense! Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter and sound or something? Well, since we have her here, why not ask Lammeror herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room. Apollo, what does this mean for our case? Don't ask me, I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now. Bailiff, bring in Lammeror. Lammeror, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way, and yet I must. Please, do not be concerned on my behalf. Those eyes, she really can't see. Really? It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie born in the Virginian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world. So you are, yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became Lammeror. No two of the memories began in darkness. True. I think she's like, she's like painting a Sonic landscape, which is cute. The word light has no meaning for Lammeror. I see. You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial, therefore. What's that? I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses. Ah. Now, Lammeror, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor? Yes, of course. Wait, Hydra, can you say in, like, spoiler chat maybe what Danganronpa 1 thing I missed? Because I'm, like, trying to remember now. I can't remember what it was. Though I admit I'm a little lost here. I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor. And of course, if you want to join spoiler chat too, come by the Discord. That's where spoiler chat is. I had a memory of the lights. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my own PR line before he knew this. So, silly as my sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others. Yeah, I think so. I gotta review the, Danganronpa 1's plot summary, though. Because my brain was like, I was like, oh, that. Wait, what? Huh? Yeah, I gotta look into that. But this is a murder trial. I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. Staying blind is a secret, no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would. She told us the truth in the beginning when she said she saw nothing. Very well. Does the defense have anything to add? I'd like to cross-examine. But what is left to ask? There was one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best to let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself. Very well, the defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness. Okay. Only open above it. Just let me ask you about that and I'll be happy. Okay. That sounds right, Hunter, yeah. I didn't realize it was a question mark, but definitely let's flip up. That's very clever.
Hold it!
Everyone on my staff knew know. When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latouche? Of course, he was my manager. So he knew, and that's what's been bugging me. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You are thinking of when you discovered the body, yes? Is he right, Apollo? Yes, I was. He's alive. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold. Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren. Mr. Latouche told me to ask the witness and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind. I don't know. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself. Meaning what? There is no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more. The witness? Siren? You've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I did forget that. I heard the one myself, but the statement is not to what I refer. We said before that. Before? What came before that? Ugh! That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness. I see. Too bad the defense did not. Well, forehead. Try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time. Ugh. Even played again. Order! Order! Recall Amorous earlier testimony. On the way from the stage to the backstage exit, there were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that. That is not the most important point here. The moment he was shot, Mr. Latouche witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness? Ah, but I really did hear them. 2 gunshots. And the man's voice. Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We have already run a simulation, of course. Whoa. But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant. Your Honor. What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here? Oh, yeah, the results back from the investigation. The investigation? Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latouche left us. Well, let's hear it. Okay. Detective Crescend, your report, please. Oh my god. Has Interpol with that number? I'm sure you'll find the answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Darian. Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent? IPXX314206. Not quite pi. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. Okay, so nailed that. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouche himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation. So when he wrote those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity, and a cautious killer tried to wipe them away. Mr. Latouche was an undercover Interpol agent? Swimming Lamaror's manager. Just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found. Well, out with it. It concerns that revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romain Latouche. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms. And the registration number on the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone was an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything. It's gotta tie in somehow, you'd think. Yeah, somehow. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Wait. Lamaror, is something the matter? That voice just now. I knew it! Darian? Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I am sure of it. It was him? You aren't saying. That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche? This is big news. Morgan's sweep. It was him. It was Mr. Darian. Some kind of a joke? What? I told you. Sus on this man for his giant shark pompadour. No way. Sus on whoever was driving outside. The courtroom fell in such a chaotic state, the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day you get an accusation like that one. That's a full j'accuse in person. Lamaror fingering Darian Crescend. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Really a bit in his voice Lamaror heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with him. Hey, don't open out now, Apollo. Can we get it to be continued, though? Thank you. This has been 2 hours. Holy moly. Hell of a segment. Yeah, thank you, Lamaror. Seriously. To your point there, Hunter. All right. Folks, that is all the time we have time for this evening. Thank you so much. Perfect. Yeah, 10 p.m. on the dot. As punctual as we've ever been. All right. So we're going to close up the recording real quick. So if you're watching us on the VODs after the fact, this is where you can stop. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves. Links down below to the stream on Twitch, the main YouTube channel, the VOD channel, and of course, most importantly, Discord. Discord is the place to be for updates, for posts, for hearing about the schedule, stream pings, everything. So come by Discord. That's the place to be for everything. Hopefully we'll see you there or on any of the other links. Playlist over there. Channel links up here. You know, it's all this stuff. Come by. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Until next time, enjoy yourselves. Peace. As for the rest of you, thank you so much for being here. I'm Essel. If you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube, good to see you. Of course, Hunter on YouTube. Thanks for dropping by, people on YouTube. We haven't had that much yet, so thanks for coming by. For those of you anywhere, whatever platform you choose, thanks for being here. Hopefully, I will see you all tomorrow night. If you want to watch more Ace Attorney, we'll be back on Thursday nights, 7 p.m., 7:30, because of my life right now. But 7-ish p.m. Eastern is our time for Ace Attorney. Our next one per the schedule. But tomorrow night, we've been talking about doing a randomizer night for a little bit. We're going to try that out tomorrow night. Does anybody have a vote at this time for a game? On the table, primarily, Donkey Kong 64, Ocarina of Time, some sort of Archipelago Madness, which could include you all, the viewer, and made possible by viewers like you, or some fourth thing. If we want, I could try Paper Mario. Paper Mario is on the table for sure. I just will not be good at it yet. Non-zero odds we can beat a Donk seed in one sitting. Everything else probably not. But non-zero odds we can beat Donk in one sitting. Paper Mario. I do need to learn at some point. It is just intimidating. So definitely noted. I'll think about that. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Oh, KH2 also. Another one. I think I've played something else. A KH2 would also be very doable. I don't know if we're down. I don't know if we're like up to like. I haven't played in a while, so I don't know if we're up to like single sitting KH2 times yet, but definitely possible. Like I believe the average KH2 run is under 3 hours, so like certainly eventually we can get to a 3 hour time on average. But yeah, okay. KH2, okay. It's not horrendous. I just don't really know what I'm doing. Bosses are random. Interesting. Okay. Could be fun. All right. Let's take a look. We're definitely not ready for OOTMM yet. I'm studying MM. I'm studying MM, but we're not ready yet. Basically, I don't think I'm going to be able to actually string it together yet. We can try, but. Just like not OOTMM, just MM. We'd have to get some MM practice in before doing the combo. For what it's worth, combo is clocking in. It seems people who are getting good at combo are doing it in sub 4 hours now. So it's possible with good settings. It'll be possible to do in a reasonable amount of time. We'll just have to get good at it. So. Yeah, not sure yet. Hydra, good question. What's you can say Tuesday for the sake of that, but unsure. It may depend. Also, I do want to get this case done with now, so we'll see how long that takes us too. Let's pencil in Tuesday, but we'll see how long it takes. Like we're doing Katamari on Sunday. We mean to be one of those for a while. So let's figure it out. Anyway, folks, thank you all so much for being here. I'm Essel. I will hopefully see you all tomorrow night for our randomizer experience, which may be Paper Mario. We'll figure it out. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you then next time, folks. Enjoy yourselves tonight. Get some rest. Peace.